Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Well, it's just another day ending in a Y where Hollywood can't take responsibility for their own actions and the creative choices that they've made to turn their disastrous dumpster fire of an industry and allowing it to burn down. Well, because they decided to ignore the fans and ignore the audiences and decide to go in their own direction and bet on something that has absolutely failed. Well, boys and girls, color us shocked there, because we've got this wonderfully big old article over here from Variety.com. Toxic fandom. How Hollywood is battling fans who are just out for blood, from social media boot camps to super fan focus groups. Oh, boys and girls, there is so much to break down in this article that we're going to end up making 3 videos out of it, boys and girls, because not only do they attack Star Wars fans, they attack Lord of the Rings fans, and of course, all of the House of Dragon fans as well. Yes, every single one of us is blamed for these failures. It is all our fault, and ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely hilarious. So we're going to break down all of the crazy stuff going on with Star Wars, and this one, we're going to push back on this and show exactly why it is not only us that thinks this stuff is a disastrous dumpster fire, us toxic, evil, racist, as I'm literally wearing a black man's face on my chest, are all to blame for what's going on. And we have so much power that even though we're just a vocal minority, we cause studios and the entire industry to change. Yes, boys and girls, take a victory lap out there because you've earned it. So we're going to check out this article from Variety.com, getting all of the juicy details and see exactly what they have to say about Star Wars and our fan base out there. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Let us know what you think about all this, and if you're proud to be considered a toxic fan that has literally crippled a multi-billion-dollar industry. Let me know what you think about all that down below. So, from Adam B. over at Variety. On August 28th, Amanda Steinberg, the lead of the Star Wars series The Acolyte, posted an 8.5-minute video to her Instagram stories about Lucasfilm's abrupt decision to not pick up the show for a second season, just 1 month after the season 1 finale streamed on Disney+. Yes, boys and girls, it's all your fault that The Acolyte got canceled. Had nothing to do with even a 78% from the Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, or an 18% from the average popcorn tomatoes. I mean, do we need to pull up the charts about the fact that it was the least watched Star Wars show on Disney Plus ever? And it's the worst reviewed audience score of any Star Wars product of all time. I thought we were just a vocal minority, and that the majority of the fans don't have a problem with this kind of stuff. Then why did nobody watch The Acolyte? Well, Amanda Steinberg will tell you, it's not a huge shock for me. Since the series was announced in 2020, we started experiencing a rampage of, I would say, hyper-conservative bigotry and vitriol. Oh, yes, those evil conservatives out there. They're just a bunch of racists, aren't they? Prejudice, hatred, and hateful language towards us. Steinberg was unavailable to comment for this story. I wonder why. How'd that diss track work out for you? Yes, we're such a racist group of individuals that the Fellowship has made Eric July the #1 most likely successful black man in the history of comics ever. Yes, we're just a bunch of racists and bigot Star Wars fans. Now aren't we, boys and girls? In other words, The Acolyte was the latest high-profile target of toxic fandom, the catch-all term for when fan criticism curdles from good-faith dissatisfaction into relentlessly negative, often bigoted online campaigns against either the project or its stars or creative leaders. Oh yes, we absolutely will call out the creative leaders. I roast these people all the time. I roast Kathleen Kennedy. I roast Dave Filoni. And yes, Harvey Weinstein's former assistant Leslie Headland, because they're the creatives responsible for this. And guess what? If Amanda Steinberg would have kept her fucking mouth shut, Nobody would have ever said shit about her. But she chose to interject herself into this fight, into this discussion, into this argument by putting a diss track out there and by saying that all Star Wars fans were gay. At least they are in my mind. Aren't the droids gay too? That was what we had issues with. The words that came out of her mouth. Now, are there occasionally a couple of psychopaths out there? Yes, there are psychopaths in every single group out there that might say something legitimately racist. Yes, it happens. By the way, check Eric July's inbox sometime and see the kind of racist comments he got. By the way, Amanda Steinberg, did we ever get any receipts from you on that one? Nope, I didn't think so. So yeah, color us shocked there, boys and girls. And yes, we call out those people all the time because that's the other thing too. We won't call out an actor or an actress unless they say something stupid. Okay? I roasted the Little Mermaid movie over and over and over again for it turning into a disastrous dumpster fire at the box office. And yes, it did lose money. We got confirmation on that. But the entire time, when everybody else was out there using thumbnails, making homegirls' eyes as far wide as they could, what did I do? I used pictures of the thumbnails with her big old boobs in them. Why? Because I thought she was a beautiful girl. And guess what? She really didn't say anything stupid. She was nothing more than the cover for an incredibly bad movie with really crappy music and bad CGI. That's all she was. That's all any of these people have ever been to Hollywood and to Disney and Star Wars and the rest of them. It was nothing more than piss poor virtue signaling, trying to cover up shitty talent and bad writing. That's what it has always been, and that's what we have been calling out the entire time. But sure, call us ists and phobes. Those words don't mean anything anymore. You've lost your power, Goblin King. Like, this is what's going on. This is why they're going out there and trying to blame us. Because they don't want to take responsibility for their own actions. They don't want to go, hey, maybe we're the baddies. Maybe we're really just crappy creatives. No, their narcissism and their ego will not allow them to see past their own noses. And so this is the easy route. Blame us. Blame the audience. Blame the fucking customer. You know, the guy who pays your bills. The Acolyte wasn't canceled because of a bunch of toxic fanboys out there. The Acolyte was canceled because it was the least watched Disney Star Wars product in history. And thank you if you're saying that we have so much power that we can influence billions of people around the world to not watch your shitty product. Thanks. Glad we're so powerful. Devotion to drive the bot. Oh, here we go. In a franchise economy, increasingly dependent upon established audience devotion to drive the bottom line. Yeah, that's right. They're saying that, yes, you, the hardcore fans, are the only ones that actually matter. Why? Because the hardcore fans are the ones that go out there and incessantly talk people's ear off when something is good. All we want is to make more fans. So, yes, we are the ones that matter the most. Because if you can't make your hardcore fans happy, you know, the ones that are there decade after decade in between products that are still poring over Tolkien's lore, that are still poring over the Star Wars trilogy that George Lucas produced over and over and over again. The ones who pass it on to their children. Yes, we are the most important audience. And here's the best part. Hollywood knows it and has to admit it now. A bunch of studios wouldn't even comment for this article for Variety because they will realize that it's a lose-lose to try to attack the fan base. Weird. It's almost like we do matter after all, and we're not just a vocal minority. In a franchise economy increasingly dependent upon established audience devotion to drive the bottom line, the threat of toxic fandoms poisoning that enthusiasm has become a seemingly intractable headache for almost every studio, and it's only getting worse. Yeah. You're waking up to the fact that what we've been saying for years was actually true. And it's not just that. It's that, yes, everyone else can see it now. No one has the nostalgia glasses on anymore, even your average consumer out there. It comes with the territory, but it's gotten incredibly loud in the last couple of years, says veteran marketing executive at a major studio. People are just out for blood regardless. They think the purity of the first version will never be replaced, or you've done something to upset the canon of a beloved franchise. We can verify it when you do. Yes, we do know that. And they're going to take you down for doing so. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, boys and girls. That's right. We've got all the power out there. It's our fault that the Acolyte was canceled. It was a vocal minority out there that apparently doesn't matter. That's just filled with a bunch of racists. And it's all our fault that they have failed. Boys and girls, if you want me to see me go over the rest of this article, make sure you're subscribed and hit that like button and turn on those notification bells, because this is a series. And this is just the first part. This is just the Star Wars, the Acolyte part. We've got an Obi-Wan Kenobi part to go over. We've got Lord of the Rings to go over. We've got House of the Dragon to go over, because at the end of the day, boys and girls, the customer is always right. The fans are always right. And Hollywood now has to realize that. And they'll blame us all day long. At least Variety will. Variety will blame us all day long. But the studios know internally that your voice does matter, that your opinions do matter now, because 2 + 2 still equals 4. God is still on his throne in heaven. Up is still up and down is still down. And they cannot escape the fact that everything they are doing is failing miserably. And they can't see past their own noses and their own arguments to be able to realize that the majority of the world out there does not agree with them. The majority of the world is not going to just lap up their agenda-driven nonsense just because we should worship at the altar of their cult of woke just like they do. No, we don't have a problem with diversity. We don't have a problem with inclusion. We don't have a problem with legitimate equality. What we have a problem with is you using that as a cover for your shitty writing. Do I need to point out the shirt again? This is insanity. This is ridiculous. And this just proves you once again that you as an audience member, you as a fan, do indeed have the power. You do indeed have the keys to the kingdom, because they cannot survive without you. And now they have to finally admit it. Star Wars, you did this to yourself. You get exactly what you deserve. Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, and Leslie Headland. And you can blame us all you want. But at the end of the day, your series was canceled. And it's because the fans didn't watch your garbage of a dumpster fire. Thanks for all the power, Disney.